Hi everybody, my name is Kendall Ogden and my presentation is on the characteristics of Latino urbanism and the movie West Side Story. I'm going to talk about what Latino urbanism is, the different characteristics of Latino urban places, and what the real truth is behind those different places. The website Los Angeles City Planning describes Latino urbanism as a broad term used to categorize the multiple practices by which Latinos have created and contributed to the forms, functions, and cultural landscapes of American cities. Latin Americans first started coming into the United States in the 1800s when the United States annexed Louisiana, Florida, and some of the north parts of Mexico. James Gregory has created many amazing maps that showcase the rise of Latin Americans in America over our entire history in the Latinx Great Migrations, History and Geography article, which I'm about to provide some statistics from. Sorry, that was my Siri. In the 1850 U.S. Census, there were 80,000 former Mexicans, 2,000 Cubans and Puerto Ricans, and 20,000 more individuals from Central and South America that had come to the United States. And then in the 2020 census, it was estimated that about 65.3 million Hispanics and Latinos were living in the United States and its territories, including Puerto Rico. Now in 2023, I'm sure that number has increased to be significantly higher, and the Hispanic Communication Network says that 61.5% of Latin Americans in the United States are from Mexico, which is then followed by Puerto Rico, Cuba, El Salvador, and the Dominican Republic. And with all these various migrations to the United States and all the different cultures being brought here, there has become a trend of creating your own community based off of cultural ideals. This is where the idea of Latino urbanism comes from. Many Latino families and communities have moved to these top 10 states, including California, Texas, Florida, New York, Arizona, Illinois, New Jersey, Colorado, Georgia, and New Mexico. Here are some statistics from the Hispanic Communications Network about the top 5 cities with the most Latinos in the United States. So first, there's El Paso, Texas, which has about 551,000 Latinos living there, which is about 81.25% of their entire population. Then we have Miami, Florida, which is about 310,000 Latinos and 70.2% of their entire population. Then San Antonio, Texas, with 916,000 Latinos, which is about 64%. Then Los Angeles, California, which is about at 1.8 million Latinos, which is about 47%. So that's about half of their entire population. And then Houston, Texas, which has 1 million Latinos, which is about 43.97%. And personally, I never knew that these numbers were so high and concentrated in those specific areas. So now that these areas are experiencing a high amount of Latino urbanism, Latinos focus highly on family, community, religion, and cultural traditions. I think a diverse community is something to celebrate, and I love that we have so many different cultures surrounding us and we get to experience something new that, we've never learned before. And Latino families usually gather together in their front yards that they have created into a plaza, which is just a very decorated space with bright colors, statues, and plenty of seating so they can host parties and celebrations with their community and their family. And I think that that is a beautiful thing to see and experience, and Latino communities love to share their culture through plazas, murals, and markets where they can sell some certain things and get to know their other community members. And they are moving to change the suburbs, like you can see in the Los Angeles area. There are many historical and cultural buildings being put to use to celebrate diversity and culture among many new different people. And in the movie West Side Story, there are 2 street gangs who try to have power in the city, the Sharks, who have many migrants from Puerto Rico, and the Jets, who are white. There is a continuous fight over the West Side turf and who gets to rule it, but Tony, an ex-member of the Jets, falls in love with the Sharks leader, Bernardo's sister, Maria, and then the story goes to show how difficult racism and segregation make the lives of those communities who just want to live their American dream after fighting so hard to get to the United States. And then there's a struggle of finding jobs, dealing with law enforcement, gang violence, and many other things. And this is just a surface level of what Latino families had to deal with when migrating to the United States. And the hate that we see in this musical provides some light on the hardships that Latinos have had to face to make it in America. And I'm glad that Latin Americans have a community to call their own where they can express their cultural traditions and live harmoniously. And this ties into a Christian worldview because God does not discriminate based on our ethnicity or, frankly, anything else. He's a loving and caring God, as we see in Galatians 3:28, that says, "There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither slave nor free, there is no male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus." And also in Deuteronomy 10:17-19 that says, "For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, the great, the mighty, and the awesome God, who is not partial and takes no bribe. He executes justice for the fatherless and the widow and loves the sojourner. Therefore, you were sojourners in the land of Egypt." This verse proves that God does not care what place we come from, what language we speak, or how we act. We are all his children, and we should not care about those things either. We are all made to love each other and celebrate our differences.